Currently the executive director for Pacific Northwest region of Playworks, national organization that works with elementary schools to help ensure safe, healthy, inclusive play. And just recently turned 40, have a toddler, and live in Vancouver, Washington currently. We've been doing a lot of adaptations. I mean, we were a year plus only strictly virtual. Most of my team, all of my team at the end of this fiscal year was vaccinated. Now it's a little bit more of a mixed bag. We are currently, all of us are all over the place in terms of comfort level and safety and risk. So we are doing kind of hybrid meetings when it makes sense, trying to still keep things outside or masked indoors. Same thing with I coach a women's football team. We started the year doing that virtually, and now at the end of the year, we're able to have games and practices in person. So just a lot of flexibility and adapting to what the current circumstances are and being open to evolving as much as we can. But it's nice to see my team a little bit after being so far removed. So I just made the cut. I turned 40 actually in January. So this is the last year I could be nominated or accepted. So I'm excited about that. I think for me, it's great to get recognition for, working hard on behalf of the community and the folks that I've worked with over the years, and to have folks nominate you for your impact and the work that you do is special. I feel privileged, and I just feel excited to be amongst a bunch of other folks who've been honored with that title over the past several years that I've been, aware of it. So it feels cool to be a part of a class of awesome people, and I look forward to seeing the rest and meeting the rest of the group of honorees as well. I mean, one, it was a school that I considered as an undergraduate, and my dad really wanted me to go there before he passed. So, I didn't really want to go to grad school straight away when I was finished with my undergraduate. I really felt like if I was going to invest the time and energy, I wanted to have the experiential knowledge of what it meant to be in the field that I wanted to work in, and then be really clear about what I wanted to do. And I was excited when I went to a info session at UP. Folks were talking about the MBA program at University of Portland, and when I heard that and sat through that, I felt like in that moment I finally found something that made sense to me. I liked the flexibility and the fact that there was traditional MBA components and the specificity of the nonprofit work, because I was working in nonprofit and I imagined I'd be doing that for a long time, and so it's just been a big part of who I am and what I want to do, and spending my time, so much of my time, I want to make an impact in the communities that I work. So I just felt like in that moment it was clear to me that this was the track I wanted to do. And then I did some more digging, and I thought it was great that it was at University of Portland, which I'd already considered before, and I lived fairly local to that space, and it just seemed like all the things aligned. But I was really sold when I talked to some other folks who were considering it, and all of us had done different research and looking at the specific coursework and the credentials, and then to get in, and then what our experience would be like in the cohort model. For me was really a big sales point, and then the value of networking. So it all just kind of clicked at the right time for me. And I've been a huge advocate of the program, and I don't know, I feel like I should get a special recruitment hat, because a number of folks have gone to UP in the programs since me that I think have had a similarly positive experience. So I felt like it was a really good decision, and there's not been a day that I regret doing it. I guess with anything, you really need to know that it's what you want to be doing in terms of investment of time and energy, because you're only going to get what you put into it out of it. And I think, it costs money, it costs time, it costs some sacrifice in terms of deciding to do this, coursework or studying or getting this project versus going and hanging out. It's a little bit easier nowadays because you can't really hang out in the same capacity. You don't have the same social competition that you might have, prior to the pandemic. But I think really figuring out the best that you can, how much you can put in so that you can get the most out of it. Like looking back, I would have loved to have been able to work, 3/4 time or something where I could really dive in. I did fine, and everybody except for one person in my cohort worked full time. Many people had kids and did all these other things and still went to the program, so it's totally manageable. But if I could, I would love to have freed up a little bit more time to dig in a little bit deeper, to do a little bit more of a research on particular things, or getting out in the field a little bit more. And I was working full time coaching women's football and going to grad school on top of regular life stuff. So it's totally doable. But I would have probably, if I could do it again, backed out of some of those other commitments just so I could really dive in. And I think the value add is really networking. Like, you got to go in and make sure that you're building rapport with the professors, with the folks that come in and speak to the classes, with the peers in your cohort and the other cohorts. And I talk to people and leverage people constantly in my work since graduating from that program. And I really do think that the network is a powerful thing that helps elevate our game in the field. You can go to Portland Fighting Shockwave online, portlandfightingshockwave.com, and check out. We just finished our 20th season. You can look up on YouTube, search our name, Portland Fighting Shockwave, if you want to see anything. The Everett Spartans tend to post a lot of our games online. But yeah, the season will start next spring. For the new season, will be in our 21st season, and we love to have supporters. If you're interested in being a player or think you might want to be a player, you should contact the team, reach out, come to some tryouts and practices. It's a fun outlet for sure.